Srimad Bhagavatam, translated with commentaries by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Canto 1, Chapter 3. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Text 1. Sutta said, in the beginning of the creation, the Lord first expanded himself in the universal form of the Purusha incarnation and manifested all the ingredients for the material creation. And thus at first, there was the creation of the 16 principles of material action. This was for the purpose of creating the material universe. Purport. The Bhagavad Gita states that the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, maintains these material universes by extending his plenary expansions. So this Purusha form is the confirmation of the same principle. The original personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, or Lord Krishna, who is famous as the son of King Vasudeva, or King Nanda, is full with all opulences, all potencies, all fames, all beauties, all knowledge, and all renunciation. Part of his opulences is manifested as impersonal Brahman, and part of his opulences is manifested as Paramatma. This Purusha feature of the same personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is the original Paramatma manifestation of the Lord. There are 3 Purusha features in the material creation, and this form, who is known as the Karanadakshayi Vishnu, is the first of the 3. The others are known as the Garbhodakshayi Vishnu and the Chirodakshayi Vishnu, which we shall know one after another. The innumerable universes are generated from the skin holes of this Karanadakshayi Vishnu. And in each one of the universes, the Lord enters as Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is also mentioned that the material world is created at certain intervals and then again destroyed. This creation and destruction is done by the Supreme Will because of the conditioned souls, or the Nityabhata living beings. The Nityabhata, or the eternally conditioned souls, have the sense of individuality, or ahankar, which dictates them sense enjoyment, which they are unable to have constitutionally. The Lord is the only enjoyer, and all others are enjoyed. The living beings are predominated enjoyers. But the eternally conditioned souls, forgetful of this constitutional position, have strong aspirations to enjoy. This chance to enjoy matter is given to the conditioned souls in the material world, and side by side they are given the chance to understand their real constitutional position. Those fortunate living entities who catch the truth and surrender unto the lotus feet of Vasudeva after many, many births in the material world join the eternally liberated souls, and thus are allowed to enter into the kingdom of Godhead. After this, such fortunate living entities need not come again within the occasional material creation. But those who cannot catch the constitutional truth are again merged into the mahat-tattva at the time of annihilation of the material creation. When the creation is again set up, this mahat-tattva is again let loose. This mahat-tattva contains all the ingredients of the material manifestations, including the conditioned souls. Primarily, this mahat-tattva is divided into 16 parts, namely, the 5 gross material elements and the 11 working instruments or senses. It is like the cloud in the clear sky. In the spiritual sky, the effulgence of Brahman is spread all round, and the whole system is dazzling in spiritual light. The mahat-tattva is assembled in some corner of the vast, unlimited spiritual sky, and the part which is thus covered by the mahat-tattva is called the material sky. This part of the spiritual sky, called the mahat-tattva, is only an insignificant portion of the whole spiritual sky, and within this mahat-tattva there are innumerable universes. All these universes are collectively produced by the Karanadakshayi Vishnu, called also the Mahavishnu, who simply throws his glance to impregnate the material sky. Text 2. A part of the Purusha lies down within the water of the universe, and from the navel lake of his body sprouts a lotus stem. And from the lotus flower atop the stem, Brahma, the master of all engineers in the universe, becomes manifest. Purport. The first Purusha is the Karanadakshayi Vishnu. From his skin holes, innumerable universes have sprung up. In each and every one of them, the Purusha enters as the Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. He is lying within half of the universe, which is filled with the water of his body. And from the navel of Garbhodakshayi Vishnu has sprung up the stem of the lotus flower, the birthplace of Brahma, who is the father of all living beings and the master of all the demigod engineers engaged in the perfect design and working of the universal order. Within the stem of the lotus there are 14 divisions of planetary systems, and the earthly planets are situated in the middle. Upwards, there are other, better planetary systems, and the topmost system is called Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. Downwards from the earthly planetary system, there are 7 downwards planetary systems, domiciled by the asuras and similar other materialistic living beings. From this Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, there is expansion of the Kshirodakshayi Vishnu, who is the collective Paramatma of all living beings. He is called Hari, and from him all incarnations within the universe are expanded. Therefore, the conclusion is that the Purusha avatar is manifested in 3 features. First, the Karanadakshayi, who creates aggregate material ingredients in the mahat-tattva. Second, the Garbhodakshayi, who enters in each and every universe. And third, the Karanadakshayi Vishnu, who is the Paramatma of every material object, organic or inorganic. One who knows these plenary features of the personality of Godhead knows also him, Godhead, properly, and thus the knower becomes freed from the material conditions of birth, death, old age, and disease, as it is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. In this sloka, the subject matter of Mahavishnu is summarized. The Mahavishnu lies down in some part of the spiritual sky by his own free will, and thus he lies in the ocean of Karana, from where he glances over material nature. And the mahat-tattva is at once created. Thus electrified by the power of the Lord, the material nature creates at once innumerable universes, just as in due course a tree is decorated with innumerable grown-up fruits. The seed of the tree is sown by the cultivator, and the tree or creeper in due course becomes manifested with so many fruits. Nothing can take place without a cause. The Karana ocean is therefore called the causal ocean. Karana means causal. We should not foolishly accept the atheistic theory of creation. The description of the atheist is given in the Bhagavad Gita. The atheist does not believe in the Creator, but he cannot give a good theory to explain the creation. Material nature has no power to create without the power of the Purusha, just as a Prakriti or woman cannot produce a child without the connection of a Purusha. The Purusha impregnates, and the Prakriti delivers. We should not expect milk from the fleshy bags on the neck of the goat, although they look like breastly nipples. Similarly, we should not expect any creative power from the material ingredients. We must believe in the power of the Purusha, who impregnates Prakriti or nature. And because the Lord wished to lie down in meditation, the material energy created innumerable universes at once. And in each of them, the Lord laid himself down, and thus all the planets and the different paraphernalia were created at once by the will of the Lord. The Lord has unlimited potencies, and thus he can perform as he likes by perfect planning. Although personally, he has nothing to do, and no one is greater than or equal to him. That is the verdict of the Vedas.